For this lesson, we will need the practice planning sheet about hiring a top chef for the school cafeteria, so I shall remove it from my writing binder. Now, as you know, every argument has two sides to it, or else it wouldn't be an argument. Arguments go back and forth as each side tries to shoot down the other side's reasons.
Yeah, arguments do go back and forth a lot.
So let me ask you a question. When you are writing a persuasive argument essay, should you include the other fellow's argument or not?
No way. You should only present your side of the story so readers don't get the wrong ideas into their heads.
Hold on. Let's go to our comparison of persuasive argument essays and infomercials for a moment. Don't infomercials compare and contrast their products to their competitors' products?
They sure do.
Doesn't that make you trust them a little more because they are not hiding from the competition?
It sure does.
If you only present a one-sided essay, it makes it seem like you are hiding something from your readers. So won't you gain believability by presenting the other fellow's side of the argument?
Hey, you're right. Readers might not trust me if I avoid mentioning the other side's point of view.
Bringing up the other person's argument and then gently it makes you a believable messenger. It's like simulating the back and forth that goes on in an argument between two people. Presently, we are going to simulate the back and forth in our persuasive essay by using the table for two buts.
Table for two butts?
Yes. In a persuasive argument essay, you need to figure out what side might say to make your reasons look weak. To do that, you read your stated reason and then say the word but.
Say what?
Say but.
Say but?
Yes, say but. By saying but, your mind automatically starts to think of arguments that contradict what was just said. Bigger word like because.
So you read your reason and say but, and that starts you thinking of arguments that contradict your own reason?
Yes. Here's how it works. On the planning sheet about hiring a top chef to make school lunches, I write the helpful heading but at the top of the second column to remind a but to trigger the argument response. Then I read my first reason and say but. I like it because gourmet lunches would be so delicious that students wouldn't throw away as much food. But gourmet lunches also would be more expensive.
I get it. By saying the contrasting you naturally think of a contrary reason.
You now have an opposing argument that you can debate and give yourself believability. On the planning sheet, I connect the two arguments to make my train of thought easy to follow. It looks like this. Now, but from the table of two buts, but then again at the top of the third column. This helpful heading is what you say after you read the counter-argument from the but column. So I would say, but gourmet lunches would be more expensive. But then again, if you made the top chef use the same ingredients, it would. However, his skill in the kitchen would make the same ingredients taste better. You see how I used logical argument to rebut the but rebuttal?
I sure do. You know, Mr. Robot, rebutting the but rebuttal is a lot like a diaper-changing contest.
How so?
There sure are.
A lot of... Now I know why Mr. Butterfield needed a vacation.
Because he's in a diaper-changing contest?
No, because you are so... Never mind. The last thing you do is to connect the but response to the but then again response to complete the train of thought about this reason and make your
argument. You mean the reason, the but response, and the but then again response?
Indeed I do. The reason, the but response, and the but then again response make up each argument. See how it looks on the planning sheet. Do you see how using the table for two buts creates the natural back and forth of an argument so that your essay will appear fair and balanced while supporting your point of view?
Just like Fox News.
Right.
Tell me, do I follow these steps for each reason?
Indeed you do. Observe as I build my argument for my second reason by going from the but response to the but then again response without pausing. I like it because students wouldn't be eating junk food for lunch. but students should be able to eat what they want own. If they want to eat junk food and get fat and sluggish, the schools should provide it. But then again, schools should not support bad eating habits that make kids overweight and lazy. If they want to eat junk food at home, that is their right. But who knows? If kids love gourmet food, they might stop eating junk food. All the other two buts naturally create a train of thought that forms the back and forth of an argument.
Choo-choo! I'm going to be an engineer on the train of thoughts.
You are indeed. This is what the planning sheet looks like now. At this time, we will use the same method to develop your third argument for your third reason. I like it because parents would come to lunch more often because they could go straight to school without stopping to get lunch at a restaurant. But kids like getting their favorite foods from certain restaurants at school. But then again, taking time to stop and order food at a restaurant is unpredictable. So a parent might be late to lunch and have less time to spend with their child, or they might get to school way too early and have to wait in the parking lot holding a bag of cooling food.
Wow, it does help you examine the sides of an issue and develop a well-thought-out argument. What about your final reason? Let's hear you build your train of thought by doing the whole sequence of I like it because, but then again.
I can do that. I like it because you could make extra money for the school by opening the cafeteria open after school. But what adult wants to eat at a school cafeteria if his or her child doesn't go there? The chairs are kid-sized, the tables are huge, and you have to sit with strangers. Also, how can a top chef work day and night? You would have to hire more people. Well, I guess you could, no, that would not work. You could, no, that would not work either.
So you got nothing.
True, my reasoning circuits cannot overcome the strength of my butt response.
Oh, no.
This happens sometimes and is no cause for worry. The reason you think of will not be a diamond. Sometimes your reason turns out to be a lump of coal. That is why you think of 4 reasons. Now let us see how our table for 2 buts looks after adding all the connected for and against arguments. Let us continue to the last step in creating our table for 2 buts.
And what is that?
We have to rank our reasons from strongest to weakest.
Why do we need to do that?
Because we want our essay stronger and finish with our strongest argument. So we rank our reasons first, second, third, and fourth in our table for 2 buts. That way we can see at a glance the order in which we will write our reasons.
So, Mr. Robot, in your top chef example, strongest to weakest.
Well, I think the argument about students not eating junk food is my strongest one. I would rank that one first.
What about the reason that gourmet lunches are so delicious that students would throw away less food?
I would rank that second.
And what about the argument that go straight to school instead of stopping to get lunch at a restaurant?
Yes, that's a very good one. In fact, I like it better than my second-ranked reason.
So you have to drop the rank of your argument about students throwing away less food to number 3.
Of course. When ranking your arguments, you can change your mind at any time and flip things around. This is, after all, a planning sheet.
How did you rank your last argument about making the cafeteria a restaurant?
Well, since I thought of lots of reasons why it was a bad idea in my but response, and couldn't think of a but then again response at all, I would have to rank that reason dead last. So my 3 strong, gourmet lunches would be delicious so students would throw away less food. Stronger, parents would come to lunch more often because they could go straight to school without stopping to get lunch at a restaurant. Strongest, students wouldn't be eating junk food for lunch. This is the order the table for 2 buts looks like now.
I sure do like the table for 2 buts, Mr. Robot. It makes it easy to know what I am going to write in my persuasive argument.
Persuasive essay like this also provides a balanced view of the arguments. You can see at a glance what your opponent might say and how you would rebut those rebuttals.
It sure does make sense to take the time to plan what you are going to write.
Planning is as important as writing the essay. Planning, it will be much harder to write your essay. It usually takes less time to write a well-planned essay than one that you just start writing, so plan your essay every time you write one.
Don't worry. I plan on planning my essay every time I write one.
Good. This lesson will be done in thoughts, so that you can check each phase of the creation of your persuasive argument. You will need a blank sheet of paper. No download is required. On your planning sheet, write the helpful headings at the top of the page like this. 1. On your planning sheet, make the following prompt a fact. Decide how you feel about it, and list 4 reasons why you feel that way. Prompt. The school board is debating on whether or not to make school uniforms a requirement for all